As a founder and inventor of Coravin, one would never have imagined that I would be here speaking with Sir Nick Faldo, who really does not need any introduction. Obviously, number one in the world for a long time, six-time major champion, Ryder Cup nemesis of the United States. He's a World Golf Hall of Fame member, of course, and a proponent of golf around the world and the PGA Tour, an announcer on CBS. But we are together to celebrate Father's Day and relax and have a conversation while talking about wine. When did you fall in love with wine, and what sort of connected you to it?
I just like what I taste. I'm not taking any more claim than that. My parents weren't rich enough to have a bottle of wine around. You know, my dad had a bottle of whiskey in the corner, and that was a bottle of sherry, and that was about it, to be really honest. And you know, you learn, well, not so much learn, you drink better wines as you're on tour from other people buying a nice bottle, that sort of thing. And then as you get older now, I just like pairing nice. I think I've learned the best way to enjoy it is to pair the right wine with your food. I think then you get the best out of both. It enhances the food and enhances the wine.
You know, it is the hardest part of wine, but it is the most rewarding. And to taste the two wines side by side with the food, you learn so much more because you're like, oh, This one is great with this, and this one is great with that. And I've started to do that at home with Coravin now. You know, why not? Just see what the difference between the two wines.
Please do send me your list. And of course, with this little contraption, I call it, you can have good bottle of wine sitting there, and you either have a taste or a glass, and that's it.
Why don't we pour our first glass? I happen to have a bottle of Carbonieux. So Carbonieux is right across the street from Château Smith-Lacoste. Yeah, there we go.
I'm just doing the 1 ounce pour.
Yeah. So Sir Nick has the Model 11, which allows you to do taste mode. I'm doing
I have the fancy one here.
Yeah. That's the taste would be pre-lunch, and the full glass would be post-lunch.
Wow, you've got. Yeah, I like it. Boy, do I like your thinking. All right. So, tell me. Oh yes, I've got a little bit of grapefruit already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're off. You're up and running.
Wow. Yeah. So, Sauvignon Blanc dominant, a little Semillon. This is classic white Bordeaux. Young, delicious, dry. Good acidity.
Very good with my salmon. I love my salmon. I'm a good salmon.
I was going to say, fish.
Yeah, it's good. I like salmon.
That's a Pauillac that you've poured already. I'll pour myself a taste of that as well, so we can taste the same thing. You've got a 2015, and they made a mistake and sent me a 2009, which is the mistake I'm happy they made. What are you smelling?
Plenty of blackberries and black currants. Bit of cassis.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is how have you, I mean, you're so active and then all of a sudden global pandemic. I'm sure you were traveling everywhere. You were doing everything. What did you do over the course of the last couple of months?
Well, very fortunate. Now, you're right. So here's a funny story. Since 18, the longest time I'd spent in one place was actually we're in Thailand after my Emma was born, who's now 17 this July. So 6 months after she was born, we had a winter there. So we were in Thailand for 5 weeks. So that was the longest period I'd ever been in one place at one time. And I've always been saying about the last 10 years, my number one goal is just spend a month in my own house. You know, we always out the door.
Yeah.
So of course this hit, and we were in Ponte Vedra for the players, and I have a beach house there. And we just made camp. Lindsay and I and the 3 very big puppies said, well, we better take this seriously. So fortunately, we were in a great area. We had food stores, and that's all we did. And we said, well, so what are we going to do? And it was almost like a rehearsal in retirement in a way, because it was get up in the morning. We like to do our exercises. And then some days is actually quite funny because we say, we've been so busy today doing nothing, and then I might get one thing on my. Then things started getting busier, and I get one thing to do a day on my schedule, and I go, oh, that's really messed up my day. How am I going to work around that? How am I going to fit that? This whatever Zoom.
I'm too busy doing nothing.
I can actually tell you, I even have set up, just in case I've got backup plans. I even have my own remote studio here. Quite funny, because I've got a camera, which is controlled by New York. How clever is all that? I have 2 more. So if necessary, if something happens, I can actually call golf right here from this chair.
Amazing. You are a major winner multiple times over and Ryder Cup winner, and it's probably impossible for you to choose between the two, but just the joy of playing, which was more fun for you, being on the Ryder Cup or playing a Ryder Cup tournament or the majors?
No, you start off as an individual. Yeah, I mean, that's your goal, to go off and win tournaments, and you've got to do it all on your own, you and your caddy, and you go off and do the best you can. Then you get put, hopefully, in a team room, which is pretty fantastic, because as I was talking earlier, that 80s transition when we turned the Ryder Cup around all through the 80s and started winning was a fabulous time to be in. And that's pure competition. The Ryder Cup is special. No prize money. You play for 1 point and you give your absolute all and leave everything on the golf course. Nothing better playing competitive golf with that much pressure on the line, that much importance for every shot. And if you feel good and you feel good about your game, it's a wonderful feeling. If you feel bad about your game and you're not confident and you're in the team room, it is one of the worst feelings in the world to be part of a team and you've got to try and contribute.
And you're letting them down.
And you're not doing your thing. I've been there as well. And it's really tough. That is, but as long as you give 100%, that's all you can ask from all your players.
We all dream about that moment when you're winning your first major. And your first major, you walk out onto the tee at the 18th hole that day, and you place the ball on the tee. And what does that feel like?
When you come down the last hole or it's literally like a playoff situation. If you perform great, you can win. If you one tiny screw up, and that's it, you've lost it. So that's the knife edge. And I mean, and you put yourself in, we call it the zone now, of course, but you're completely engrossed. And my world was literally a yard of one big pace in front of me. That was all I was kind of really sensing and focusing on. The rest of it really was a bit of a blur. And I was just walking along, and you're just constantly rerunning the process of doing all the things. Even the road process, it doesn't sound right, because that's another modern word. We say, well, it's all part of the process, But you're just sensing things for the first time, and can you hang on? Can you do it? And self-belief is obviously, when you're first doing something, you don't have true self-belief that I can do this. It's that weird and wonderful feeling of like, just can I hang on to this? I think that's probably the fairest way of saying. You can feel it, you sense it, you know what you're doing. Can you just keep doing it again and again and again? Nothing better than going into the shot believing, right, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I do it. So that is your self-belief.